Next, we have uh, just a quick minute here. We have Miss Esther Amuah Yacoba. Esther is from Inlaks, Nigeria. That is one of the leading ICT providers in Ghana. Do we have Esther online?
Yes, I'm here.
Wonderful. So Yacoba Esther Amuah, country manager for Inlaks, she will be talking about what next for financial services. Well, Esther, I can tell you, uh, given the amount of topics we've seen of what's going to happen post-pandemic, I was in fact reconsidering naming the summit banking post-pandemic itself. So let me see what is your interesting point of view we have for what next for financial services. Stage is all yours. Esther, you are welcome to go ahead.
Thank you, Mohammed. Just trying to share my screen.
Wonderful.
Okay. Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. My name is Yacoba Esther Amuah, normally called Yacoba Amuah, and I'm with Inlaks, Ghana. So Inlaks has offices in Ghana, Nigeria, East Africa, and then we also have operations all across West Africa. So it's not just in Ghana and Nigeria. And we've been around for over 37 years working with the banks. We partner so many, we are partners with Temenos, with Hyosung, and a number of industries across. So this afternoon, I know that we've heard a lot, and just so that I don't sound like a broken record, I just want to kind of put it together and also talk about the fact that what is next for financial institutions, having looked at all the various topics that people have spoken about today. Now, we all know what we got ushered into in 2020 with respect to COVID-19. And with it came a new normal that has emerged. And I just want us to just quickly look at what that has brought on us across various industries. If we're looking at the financial sector, these things kind of existed, but the current situation that we find ourselves in kind of increased what we are seeing, i.e. competition from companies that were not traditionally into the financial space, fintechs and the like, who are now come into the financial arena. We experience some banks closing their branches across, not just not in Ghana only. Some job losses have happened across. And then there has been an increase in the use of digital channels by customers. In fact, even the most branch-centric of banks who had maybe a branch at practically every doorstep have had to rethink how they engage with their customers in the wake of what we have experienced with COVID-19. And then retail businesses are also opening up more to online and trading and payments. We see that banks are deliberately trying to move transactions from in-branch to e-channels, ATMs and the like. And although we see this deliberate move and an increase in digital usage, cash hasn't gone out of the system entirely. In fact, in the UK, when the second lockdown was announced recently. They had the highest usage of ATMs recorded in a great while. So cash is still in the legs, is not gone totally. And therefore, I just want us to ask this question, that every morning, since we're talking about Africa, I know that there are people from all over the world also on this channel, but there are people every morning in the plains of the Serengeti, we have a gazelle waking up. It knows that it must run faster than the fastest lion or it will be killed. And every morning the lion also wakes up and it knows that it must outrun the slowest gazelle or it will starve to death. So it doesn't matter whether you're a lion or a gazelle, when the sun comes up, you better be running. Why are we running? Are we running because we are afraid to be killed, or we are running because we are hungry and we need to feed ourselves? Now, I think that the way forward, there are some key factors that we need to consider. A few years ago, I was consulted for a bank in East Africa, and I assisted them with their business continuity plan. And as we were going through, I kept asking myself that when at all would this massive document be operationalized? And believe it or not, whether you had a business continuity plan in place or not, you've had to put one in place with the onset of the COVID-19. So things have changed radically over the past few months. And there are certain things that have to be considered going forward. And I think that key among these, among so many other factors, I'm just going to look at the organizational posture, the customer, and then the ecosystem. Now, we all know that customers are forever evolving and their needs, I do not know how to even describe it, but customers are ever changing. And therefore, if banks, insurance companies, or any other business is going to remain and be able to still meet the needs of its customers, then there is the need for innovation. And then with innovation would come the products, the services, the how that you even engage with your customers. You would also need to be very agile if you're going to survive in the environments that we currently find ourselves and going forward. And agility would require that you are able to adapt to changes that come in. You are able to respond appropriately and in a timely manner. And then you would also need to be very resilient in these times. In fact, for an agile organization, you need to look at your strategy, your structure, the processes, the people, and the technology. These things are going to inform the way you interact with your customers, with the market, and with the environment around you. And you also need to build resilience. And with that also requires trust. Would my bank be there tomorrow? Would I be able to put my money here and come back and be sure that I still have something waiting for me? So we need to build resilience into our operations. Now, we've spoken a lot about the customer and his ever-changing needs. And I think that nobody would be in business if the customer is not in the picture. So indeed, the customer is truly king. And we are now in an environment where it's not so much about loyalty, but about accessibility. Are your services accessible? How am I able to interact with my bank seamlessly? We are in a period where you really need to rethink your customer journey mappings and ensure that across every single channel, if I am using mobile, if I come in person, if I go on internet banking, I must have a seamless experience So we're moving from products and services to experience, because if I come in today and my experience is bad, chances are the next door I would have somebody who would offer me a service. I may never even have to interact with a human being directly, but I mean, there has to be a fair blend, because we cannot also eliminate our branches totally. You could have a number of services conveniently pushed onto the e-channels, but maybe the very complex transactions and all that would require some level of in-person and face-to-face interactions. So the customer needs are ever evolving. Customers are becoming sophisticated by the day. They are looking for contactless solutions. Customers are looking for convenience, value for money, and therefore they will not tolerate frequent system downtimes. They are not going to tolerate every now and then maybe a message comes, we are upgrading our systems, we apologize for the service downtime and all, because if you program your upgrade or your system corrections at the wee hours of the night, I may have traveled and I may be in a country where your midnight is my morning. So when you turn it off at midnight, you are going to inconvenience me and the transactions I need to carry out. In fact, I had an experience some time back where I had to travel and I needed to contact my bank to activate my card. And I don't know whether I gave the wrong date of return or the person did not understand, but they switched it off the morning I was to pay my bills. So here I was, the very time that I needed the service the most, my card was unavailable. And therefore, these things, the seamlessness of the experience is not just even looking at it in your local setting, but you need to look at it across, because the customer is emerging, the customer need is just growing by the day. So we need to be able to meet the customer all the way, not even halfway, and simplify our value propositions to our customers, making it make the complex simple and yet very compelling. So to wrap it all up, how then are financial institutions, etc., supposed to move, or what is going to be the next step or the way forward? I think that this has also been kind of mentioned, that the way forward is to collaborate with the those within the ecosystem. You could take the financial service provider no more just as a service provider, but you are to provide an experience. So we could put that, the banks and our financial institutions in the experience provider bracket. Now, you would need a platform provider. If you do not collaborate with your platform provider, you would not be able to give your customers the experience that they require. We are moving into the age of AI, use of big data, artificial intelligence, explainable AI. I mean, there is so much that is all over that we need to take advantage of. Open banking has been spoken about. Depending on regulatory permissions and all that, we would have to position ourselves to be able to take advantage of all that technology is offering us to be able to meet our customer expectations and needs. You also require the process provider, which would include your people, build a mindset of innovation, agility, and all that, so that they have the right processes in place to be able to meet the customer. At the end of the day, the customer is at the center of everything that we do. And you need also to collaborate with an asset provider. The good news is that at Inlaks, we are in all these, we find ourselves in a complete mix here where we are able to provide you the software, core banking software, and it doesn't have to be, you don't need to be on T24 to be able to use the Terminus software. We have been able to decouple the front end from the back end such that you could be on X core banking, but take advantage of the digital banking suite that which is called Infinity, that Terminus provides to our customers. And it's right from onboarding all the way mobile and all, with a massive experiences available to our customers. When it comes to the assets provider infrastructure space also, as I said, we are working towards a cashless environment, but it's going to take a while in Africa for this to even take place. I believe that even in China, where they have advanced so much in the cashless environment, I think there is legislation about not turning away cash completely. So I think that we still need our ATMs, and the good news is that we do have next generation ATMs available, contactless, that allows customers to be able to interact with your bank still within the environment that we find ourselves, ensuring safety because the pandemic is still around, and ensuring that you're giving your customer the experience that they need. We also into data center and power unit building for your data center, monitoring solutions and all. So just to wrap it up, if banks are going to make it on the next level to be able to meet customer expectations, customer needs, and take advantage of the technology that the world is offering, because things have changed drastically. I keep saying that if my dad were to wake up from his grave today, he would ask to die again, because there is so much change that has taken place that he might get confused. And yet we find ourselves in this ever-increasing, ever-changing environment that we need to plug in and fit in properly. So Inlaks, as I said, we are here to support the financial sector. We are here to support insurance. We are here to support various industries with our products and services. We are ISO certified. We have strong corporate governance, strong financial capacity, and we understand the environment thoroughly to be able to partner with you on this journey of digitalization. Thank you for your time this afternoon. Have a good evening. Bye.
Thank you very much, Yacoba. We're very grateful for the time that you've taken to share information on Inlaks, and just generally remind us that we need to innovate, we need to be agile, and we do need to be resilient.